Hey, it's Vas here from Aussie Playground and welcome to another unboxing. Yes, it is another exclusive. This one is for the ARRMA OutCast, which is a brand new vehicle from ARRMA. It has been just released today. Well, at least out of the time that this video has gone live, it was released today. This is a short wheelbase Kraton, essentially. They've used the Typhon / Senton chassis and put Kraton A-arms, steering knuckles, drive shafts, axles, all of that on here. So it's basically a short wheelbase Kraton. That's really what it is. What scale is it? Well, it might be a 1/8 scale, but some people would argue that it might be a 1/10 scale. Not entirely sure. One thing I do know though, this is supposed to be a stunt truck. And let me tell you, it definitely promises to be that, because by what I've seen so far, they've beefed this thing up considerably, and they've added a few new features in here as well, which I'm going to be showing you very, very soon. I'm super excited about driving this truck more than anything else. I mean, I love the fact that, you know, the phase-on, which I unboxed just moments ago, the phase-on definitely got me very excited. It's a very sexy car, but this here just screams just fun. I think it's going to be a real fun RC to drive, and I can't wait to check it out. But it can run 6S or up to 6S. It runs the BLX 185 power system, which is the same power system that you find on the rest of the 1/8 scale ARRMA vehicles with this platform. Of course, the Nero platform uses a different power system. You have a 4S or 6S, as I said. It uses a new battery tray with a couple of unique features, which I'm going to be showing you very soon. Ready to run, waterproof, 2-year warranty. Super tough stunt truck. Let's get rid of the box. We don't need that guy here. Let's have a look at the truck itself and some of the goodies that you get in the box, because this thing, just, I think it's going to be the bash vehicle to get. That's really what I'm trying to say here. And look, I know that you know, it might be a little bit premature to say this, but I think this is the winner. This one from ARRMA is going to be an absolute winner. And I can't wait to really test it out, to be honest with you. All right, so let's have a look at the goodies here. We've got some additional body posts in this little bag here. Now, these are a little bit longer than the ones that come on the truck. I'm assuming that this is if you are going to be putting a different body on here. It gives you the option to kind of have different heights. So that might be why they're there. Toolkit, of course, as per standard, ARRMA never shies away from providing some tools in the box. Really good to see that. This one actually has an additional cross wrench, a little one on the bottom there. And of course, you've got some Allen keys in there as well. So if you don't have your own tools already, great that they've included that. High-speed pinion, I think this is a 16 tooth, which means the truck will probably come with a 14 tooth. And this will definitely make it scream. 16 tooth, I mean, I'm only using a 14 tooth on my Kraton, and that's already a pretty big animal. So I'm pretty sure that's 16. I did try to count them. I think it was 16. XT90 connectors for your batteries. You can, of course, swap out the connectors on your batteries to these, because this comes with XT90 connectors on the ESC. You know, connectors like these, for example, or XT60s, just not enough to really keep up with the amp draw that the motor and the ESC can really put through this system. So you do need to make sure you have some good batteries and some good connectors to have an efficient power system that's going to deliver the power that it's capable of delivering. Little sort of picture card going on here. So you've got that shot there, and then you've got that shot there. Now, that's not the card upside down. That's the car that's upside down. So it looks like ARRMA have been having some fun with this guy. And of course, you've got the user manual, which from ARRMA is always very comprehensive. Heaps of information in here. A couple of different languages as well. So you have everything you need in these user manuals. ARRMA does a really good job with them. The Tactic TTX 300, a great remote. I've had a few of these now. Don't have an issue with these particular remotes. They run on 4 AA's. You got steering dual rates, throttle trim, steering trim, reverse switches on this side, on and off switch, and you can even adjust steering endpoints via these 2 little buttons down here with some programming and so forth. All the information for that will be in your manual if you want to do any of that. All right, for the main event, here we go. Here is the truck. I'll bring this guy up to the camera and get my camera to focus in on this a little bit more here. Here we go. So you'll see this old style design. Very, very cool looking truck. As I spin him around, you'll see a wheelie bar mounted to the actual wing mount here, and I think this is pretty universal, so I'm going to be ordering some of these to be putting on my Kraton and my Talion, which I think a lot of people will probably do the same, to be honest. And there it is, the truck itself. New wheels and tyres. These are very much Badland inspired tyres. We'll talk about them a little bit more. As I quickly take the body off here, and we'll talk about this guy because there's a couple of interesting features about this particular body that I think some of you will actually enjoy. So here is the body, as you can see. Not a very loud body, so they haven't gone for like an extravagant sort of amount of graphics or anything like that. One simple color and just let the mold do the talking, and that's a really cool thing that they've done with this particular one. Now, first and foremost, this is an extremely thick body. This is not your typical run-of-the-mill body. Very, very thick, very much like the Phazon that I unboxed just moments ago. This one, and even the Nero as well, this one is very much in that sort of line where it's super thick, super strong, super rugged. It should take one hell of a beating to really tear this guy up. On the back here, you've got these this kind of like roll cage, plastic roll cage going on over here. Now, one of the cool things about this particular design, what they've done here is they've put some screws all the way along the top. And I was looking at these thinking, why have they put so many screws on here? Like they're not really holding anything. There's nothing sort of to, why are they there? And I've come to the realization that this is the screws are here just for protection. So if you flip the truck over, it's not scraping on the plastic, it's actually scraping on the screw heads, protecting the plastic and protecting the cab. So this is a really cool thing to see from ARRMA, because they're obviously forward thinking a little bit here, thinking, okay, you know, this is a short wheelbase Kraton with big tyres on it. People are going to be flipping over this truck quite easily because the centre of gravity has obviously gone up a bit. And, you know, how do we protect it? Just put a roll cage there with some screws. Hey presto, you know, you've got a little bit of additional protection. It may not make it bulletproof, but it will definitely make it last a lot longer than it would have otherwise without these screws here. So really clever design. There's also some empty holes next to these screws. Now, I'm not entirely sure what these holes are for, but I do have a couple of ideas, and I'm hoping to do something really cool come this New Year's, because we're only a few weeks away from 2017, and I might be able to post up a quick video, perhaps on my Facebook page, well, what I'm intending to do with these holes that are here. Now, the body also has a really interesting thing where it's actually in three parts. Now, if I can show you here, I'll see if I can get my camera to focus in on this. So you can see a line going all the way across the back here, and then there's another one going across the front, and it goes all the way to the other side. Now, this is a very intricate mold that ARRMA have gone for, and of course, being a very thick Lexan body, they probably couldn't do this in one go. They had to do it in three separate pieces and, of course, join them. Now, it is a little bit annoying to see the joint of these three parts, but who knows, maybe in the future they might work out a way that they can make this a little bit more invisible. For me, it's not a big deal. What's important here is that the body doesn't split at these seams. It's just, you know, just the way that it is. There are some compromises sometimes, you know, in order to do a particular design with a particular thickness, maybe they had to split it in three, and that's the way that it's got to be. Other than that, I really like the styling. I like the old school kind of Ford F-150 style. I think this is brilliant. I think it's going to appeal to a lot of people out there. Yeah, congratulations ARRMA on that one. I think it looks fantastic. Now for the chassis itself. There are some familiar components here, but there's also a lot of new stuff. Alright, so let's start from the outside. First and foremost, let's talk about these tyres and wheels. The wheels themselves are kind of like a Hoonigan, whatever it is, sort of style. So very cool design on these wheels. And of course the tyres are a bit of a Badland style inspired tyre. Now, these aren't exact replicas because the Badland 3.8s are actually smaller than these. The Badland Max 38, which I have a set of here as well, are actually bigger than these. So these are kind of in between those two sizes. But the tread pattern itself is very much the same, except ARRMA have actually added some additional detail to the knobbies on these tyres, and the tyres themselves actually feel really, really good. I think that these are going to be a type of tyre, you know, if ARRMA can sell these separately at a pretty good price, I can see a lot of people picking these up to use on their own rigs, whether they're ARRMA rigs or not. These tyres are definitely going to do very well, as long as they don't sort of fall apart. They should be excellent tyres to use. Front and rear sway bars already pre-installed. Pretty much all the other components that are here are very much the same as what you'll find in your Kraton or your Talion or your Typhon or your Senton, for example. Now this does have the steering knuckles off the Kraton, so it does have, of course, have those upgraded steering knuckles. So nice and strong. You're not going to have any issues with bearings or anything like that, because I haven't had any issues with mine, and my friend Brad, who's got a Kraton as well, he's never had any problems with his either. Suspension itself feels really, really good. I'm really happy with the tuning of the suspension. Probably slightly under dampened in the front, but nothing bad. Definitely feels like it has a little bit more dampness in the rear. But then again, you know, the car is light on. It doesn't have a battery pack in here at the moment, so it might sit a little bit lower once it's loaded up. And then, of course, you've got some additional components on here, which are your body posts and these guards that I'm going to be talking about very soon. Now, it does use the shock towers from your Kraton, both front and rear shock towers. And as I said, you have these new body posts, which are really cool. You can adjust the height of them. Same with the rear, just there. And they mount in the exact same position as the standard body posts mount on your Kraton and Talion. So I'm going to be getting these. I know that a lot of people probably do the same. I'm going to be getting some spare sets of these so that I can put them on my other cars. And that way I'll be able to toy around with different bodies. More specifically on my Kraton, I definitely want to sort of put a different body on that and customize it a little bit more as I kind of destroy the remainder of the stock body. The other cool thing about this is, of course, the mud guards that you see here. These mud guards mount onto the top just there, and I can see that these will probably fit a lot of the existing platforms. So they might fit the Senton, for example. They'll most likely fit the Kraton. You may be able to even fit them on the Talion as well, which is something that I'll want to try out once these become available and I can get my hands on a set. Okay, so now going on to the battery tray, and you can see this big border of plastic that they've put all the way around this car. So they're really trying to keep dirt and debris from getting in there. And then inside here you can see the battery tray. You've got XT90 connectors. You should be pretty familiar with how these work, but the loop here you can remove if you're going to be using 2 batteries, or if you're going to be using 1 battery, you keep the loop on there and you can plug in a single pack. Now, interesting thing about this battery tray, you see that it only has 2 straps. You've got one going across here, and then you've got a long one going across here. On the front, you'll see that there's a new little gizmo going on, and this is actually adjustable. So if I can move the strap out of the way here, you can lift that up depending on the height of your batteries. So that will, of course, sort of squish down once you put this strap over the top. This has a maximum height of about 70 millimeters because I have measured it out. And the tray itself has a width of about 48 millimeters. Now, I'm a big fan of the design of this tray. I think this is going to secure batteries a lot better than the tray that comes on the Kraton and those other Sentons and all that sort of thing. So this tray is definitely an improvement over the existing tray that they're using. However, there is one downfall, and that is that they've made the tray only 48 millimeters wide, whilst on the Kraton they are 51 millimeters wide. Now, why is that a little bit of a shortcoming? Reason being, if I can get a couple of batteries here, here's a 2 standard size 2S packs. These are sort of like RAW approved standard size 2S packs. The problem with that is that these packs are 25 millimeters thick. You put them together like that, you will not be able to fit them in the tray like that. You actually need to turn them over and put them on top of each other like that. That's how you'd fit the batteries in this tray. Now, in most cases, it's not going to be an issue. The batteries aren't going to slide around because you've got that strap going long ways. It'll secure the batteries in there really nice and easy. However, It also depends on where you've got your cables coming out from. Now with these particular packs, you see the cables kind of come out right at the corner of the pack there. If I can get my camera to focus in on this, it would be great. So you can see the cables kind of come out in the corner, and if I have one stacked on top of each other, the cables aren't exactly getting pinched. They're going to be fine. However, if you do have cables coming right from the top, such as your bullet connector cable style of battery, you'll need to offset the battery in order for the cables not to get kind of mangled. The easiest way to do that is to put a block of foam on the back of the bottom battery, and then you can stack them on and run your strap, and your cable there is not going to get damaged. That's the only way that I can foresee this working, having them stacked on top of each other. But of course, there's many different ways you can do this. I know that you can use Velcro to kind of stick them together, stop them from sliding around. That's another way of doing it. So there's a few different ways you can do it. But from what I can see, you do need to be mindful that the batteries can only stack up like this and not on the side like you would traditionally do on your Kraton and Senton and all those other vehicles. So just as something to keep in mind. Now, for me personally, I've decided to go for more of a brick style of battery. The tray, you can probably fit batteries in here up to about 160, maybe 170 millimeters long, depending on the shape of the battery. Standard brick size batteries like these, like your Basher 4000 milliamp packs, these will fit in here no problem at all. You can put them in, they'll fit, no worries, right? That's not a problem. Well, the batteries that I'm going to be using on this car though are going to be graphene packs. I really want to push this car to the limit. I want to see how it's going to perform backflips. I mean, it says it's a stunt truck, so I'm going to do some stunts with it. The graphenes are definitely going to provide the power that I need. Now, I've got this 3000 milliamp 6S, which I've used in a few speed runs and a few of my other videos in the past, but I'm not going to be using this particular pack for this truck. I've actually got two new ones on order, which I'm hoping will be here before I run the truck. One is a 5000 milliamp 4S pack, and the other one is the 6000 milliamp 6S pack. Both of those are 65C, and the 6S is about 170 millimeters long. However, it's curved on the end, right? So when I fit this pack in, because it's going to be so big, it's going to go right to the end, and it's actually going to meet up with the curve of the chassis here. So it's going to be a perfect fit, I'm hoping, so that I don't have to kind of really squeeze it in there. Again, the only reason why I've sort of picked those particular packs is based on their sizes, because the battery tray is only 48 millimeters wide. That's why I've gone for that. Now, there is one more thing about this battery tray which is an absolute winner, and I hope that ARRMA does this in some of their other vehicles, existing vehicles, and who knows, maybe even some other companies might do this as well. But this is the first time I have seen this on any RC ever, and I've had probably about 100 RCs, maybe more in my life. So here's what they've done, and I'll try and show you this as best as I can as I kind of awkwardly move the truck into shot here. You see this little thing back here? What that is, that's for your balance leads. Because how many times do you put a battery into an RC, and let me see if I can get the little rubber thingy to come off here. So that pulls up like that. You can slide your battery lead in there. So you've got two slots. Obviously, if you're going to be using two batteries side by side, or on top of each other in this case, you're going to have two balance leads. You can put them in there, put the little rubber thingy over the top of it, and that keeps your balance leads safe without the fear of them getting caught up in gears or in drive shafts or getting dirty or anything like that. I think that that is a brilliant idea. I would love to see more companies do that, and I would love to see ARRMA implement this feature in some of their other cars. So well done. That is, I mean, it's such a little thing like that, and for me that makes such a big deal. There's also this little plastic bit here on your battery strap. That is of course to kind of put your cables of your battery in there, and that helps secure the cables and stops them from moving around. And they've even, I don't know if the camera will pick this up properly, but there's a little, let me see if I can get this to focus here. Here we go. there's a little plastic piece sticking out of the battery tray just there, blocking the gears. So again, forward thinking. ARRMA probably thought, well, you know, people are going to have their cables in there and things are going to get in the way, right? Let's put a little plastic thingy-me-bob just blocking the gears, protecting any cables or anything like that from getting caught up and chewed up. That's brilliant. It's just the little things that really make the biggest difference for me. Okay, so that is pretty much it for this unboxing. I'm going to be putting the body back on here very quickly, tuck these cables away, and I will hopefully squeeze this guy into place. Now, I will admit, putting the body on is a little bit tricky because you kind of have to tilt it to get past the rear wing. And you can see I'm having a little bit of trouble here, but there is a knack to it. You just have to kind of get past the springs. There we go. And pop that guy in there. And there we have it. Body is in place. Remote is over here. This promises to be the bash vehicle to get. I mean, if you just like to do stunts and backflips and jumps and things like that, you got a fairly high center of gravity, or you know, fairly lifted low center of gravity monster truck, I guess you'd call it, which of course you have the option to go a little bit higher if you want to, and of course you can lower it down a little bit via the droop screws. You have a pre-mounted wheelie bar already on the back. You've got tyres that hopefully you won't need to change, because these are pretty much the same as what everybody else gets for their cars, which are, you know, Badlands. I think this is brilliant. Cute little number plate on the front of the truck as well that says OutCast. Well done, ARRMA. I think they're onto a winner here. This is going to be a very interesting vehicle to drive. Short wheelbase Kraton is essentially what this is, and it promises to be a lot of fun. So that is pretty much it for this unboxing. Please be sure to check out the video description for more information on the truck, as well as a link to my Facebook page. Do you have any questions? Leave them in the comments down below. Don't forget to hit the like button before you go. And of course, if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe. I'll have running videos of this truck up very, very soon, as well as speed tests. And of course, lots of other running videos on my channel with all the other vehicles that you see behind me. That is it for me. Thank you again for watching, and I'll speak to you next time.